Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in another video, and I am here to talk about why it is that black parents don't like to let their children rest. And the reason why this topic came to mind, because I've seen it, kind of talked about on like Twitter about how it is that a certain generation or generations of black people, they don't understand the luxury of like rest and like taking a break and taking a breather from life. They're so used to like being on the go, stressing out about finances and taking care of their family. Like they're so used to being in this state of survival. Maybe they don't even understand what it's like to rest and to take a break. And even if they get to a place where they can take a break, they won't, because all they know is just grinding 24/7 and just never taking a beat. And I feel like a lot of that is now being projected onto Gen Z, where we recognize, signs of being overworked, being tired, your body telling you to stop. And we're making it a point to slow down, take a breather, focus on our mental health, and not allowing ourselves to get too overworked or overwhelmed, especially when it comes to jobs. Like, we're known to quit a job. I literally just quit my job, actually, fun fact. Not just because of feeling overworked, but there were just a laundry list of reasons why I quit my job. I might make a video about that, I might not sure. Yeah, I feel like with us, it's like we recognize the importance of rest, and I feel like for some reason that triggers some of the older generations, like millennials, Gen X, baby boomers, like those generations. And this is something that I have dealt with at home, especially with my mother and my grandmother, who are both women that, I guess also come from times where a lot of their life was based off of survival. And so they didn't really have time to just rest and take a beat. My grandma is someone, and as most black grandmothers, they tend to get up early for literally no reason at all. They don't have nothing to do, but they just will get up 5-6 o'clock in the morning and just be up, right? It's routine for them because of maybe how they were raised. And my mom's kind of the same way, where she'll just like to wake up early or whatever the case may be, and that's fine, that's great. But what I've come to deal with, even within my own house, is that whenever I have tried to rest, take a break, take a breather, it's almost like it's a trigger for my mom. My mom gets very, very upset whenever I even mention being tired. If I try to take a nap, if I try to sleep in, like it and it's been an ongoing issue since I was a kid. Especially in high school. Like high school, me and my mom fought a lot over me trying to get rest because she couldn't wrap her head around me being tired. And that's the other thing too. There really is this disconnect between generations, where a lot of the older generations, they feel like Gen Z is lazy, right? And so whenever we talk about wanting to rest, wanting to take a break, wanting to leave a job, wanting to take a gap year from school, we immediately get thrown the term lazy, because we are not conditioned to overwork ourselves and to run ourselves into the ground trying to reach a certain goal, or trying to whatever the case may be. Like we just, I feel like, because we recognize the importance of taking breaks, I feel like for some of our parents and even grandparents, it triggers them a little bit because they don't even know what that's like. Like it's foreign to them to not constantly be in survival mode. And again, like when you're in high school, right? And everyone has different high school experiences. But for me, listen, I had, AP classes, dual enrollment classes, National Honor Society, and even other curricular activities that took up a lot of my time. And then I also had classmates who had all of that plus sports, plus a part-time job. And so we had a lot going on in high school. And so you can imagine, like, and having to get up at 5-6 o'clock in the morning every single day throughout the week to go to school. I mean, most people don't even wake up that early for work. Depending on your commute, I know people that get up super early if their commute to work is very long. But ultimately, like people who work a 9 to 5, they're not getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready most times. But when you're in high school, and I know they adjusted the high school hours as of like recently, but when I was in high school, school started at like 7:30 in the morning. And I rode the bus to school, which meant that I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready and be prepared to get on the bus at like 6:20, right? And so I say all that to say, like, when you're doing all of that nonstop, at some point you're gonna be running on fumes. And you're gonna be tired. With me having to constantly again get up early, then you're sitting in class all day, like you're exhausted, right? You're exhausted, and so a lot of the times when I would come home after school, I would take a nap. That bothered my mom a lot. She would get upset a lot every single time I would try to take a nap. She would always wonder why I was so tired. Like, that's always the number one thing, is like, why are you tired? You have no reason to be tired. You don't even know what tired feels like. And mind you, this is just for me taking a nap. Even when I did try to rest, that wasn't respected either. Like, even if my mom knew I was trying to take a nap, and she also knows that I'm a very light sleeper, she wouldn't ever create an environment for me to actually get rest. She would be very loud. She would start turning up the radio super loud. She'll start to vacuum right beside my room. She'd just be like very extra and very loud, knowing I could hear her and knowing I can't I can't go to sleep. Again, back in high school, sometimes I would take naps because we had like this big like recliner chair downstairs in the living room. Sometimes I would take naps in that chair downstairs, and that room was like right by the kitchen. She would come in the kitchen, start clanking dishes, and again, turning up the radio and just being super duper loud, knowing I'm not going to be able to sleep through that. And it's so crazy to me how me just trying to get a few extra minutes or maybe an hour of rest in the day would trigger her so bad. And my grandma has a little bit of this too, where my grandma, she will sometimes like, because we still have a landline. And so when the phone rings, I can hear it and it tends to wake me up. And there was this constant thing where my grandma would call super early in the morning to wake me up. Even though I had nothing to do. And this was often like, on the weekends and stuff, right? But which the weekend is supposed to be when you're resting. But she would call me early in the morning to just get me up. Like, oh, you need to get up anyway. Mind you, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I don't have nothing to do. And that's the other thing too, is like they would get really upset if I tried to sleep in. I do have a tendency to sleep in late. But again, it's like I'm tired. Like, I don't get the concept of let me get up just to get up and then let me sit here and force myself to be awake even though I'm tired. My eyes are about to shut, but I'm just stay up just because. Like, that to me, that's so dumb. Like, if you're tired, just sleep, rest. It doesn't matter if you sleep in until 10, 11 o'clock, or like if you take a nap throughout the day. Like, I don't understand why taking a beat and resting is seen as such a negative thing for, like, again, that generation of black parents. And like I said, I think it boils down to a bigger issue of just them not knowing when to rest. I think when you're in survival mode for such a long time and that's all you get comfortable in that. And so the idea of taking a breather and just resting, I think is triggering to them. And it's like, I think they almost feel a sense of like, oh, if I don't keep going, if I don't keep moving, these are going to fall apart. But ultimately, that's not even where they're at right now. Like, I tell my mom all the time. Literally, me and my mom had this conversation yesterday because I tried to take a nap. Yesterday I tried to take a nap because I was really sleepy, and she was like, "Oh no, this wasn't yesterday. This was like 2 days ago." I was trying to take a nap. I went to my room to take a nap, and my mom immediately got upset. She's like, "Why are you in your room trying to take a nap? You didn't even tell me you were gonna take a nap." And I'm like, why do I need to announce to you when I'm taking a nap? What do you? And I could see her getting like all worked up. And literally, I said to her, I'm like, if you're tired, you can go take a nap too. Like, there's nothing stopping you from taking a nap. Like, it's just it literally, I see it like with her, with my grandma. Like, it is a trigger for them to even see me resting and taking a break, because in their mind they're just like, what are you taking a break from? Like, why are you tired? Because even with me, right, like, I work remotely, right? I don't work, or I used to work remotely. I don't work in an office. And so they can't understand how you can be sitting up at a computer from 9 to 5 and get tired, because they look at it as, well, you're at home, right? They look at it as, you're at home, you didn't have to commute, you didn't have to physically pick up boxes. Like, they look at like more so of those like physical hard labor jobs as like actual work that should make you tired. They don't really look at remote work as working because you're at home. And so they can't wrap their, it's the same thing with school. Like again, like when you're at school, you're literally sitting there listening to a teacher all day, staring at a laptop all day. Just doing that alone, it can make you tired, especially if you've been up for several hours nonstop with no break. But they just can't seem to comprehend why that would make anybody tired. Whenever I've tried to sleep in, take naps, whatever, their immediate thing is like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you sleeping in? Why are you taking a nap? You have no need to. You don't do enough in life to be tired. It's really crazy how like so many people are dealing with this. And again, my mom doesn't really know how to rest for real. Like there's been so many times where, you know, she'll get tired and she'll go to take a nap, but she literally like can't. Like she literally can't physically get herself to take a nap. Like she'll lay there and she'll like watch TV, but she'll lay in bed exhausted and not go to sleep until it's time to go to sleep. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I take naps easily, and I tell people this all the time. One of my favorite things to do in life is take naps. Like literally, I love to take naps. Like even if even when I was in a relationship, like I would always like want to just take naps with the person that I'm with. I just love to me, there is nothing wrong with like just taking a breather. And listen, I even have friends that suffer from this mentality of I have to overwork myself. I have to constantly do things. I can't take a rest. I even have to tell them, "Hey, take a nap." Eat. Some people forget to eat because they're constantly on the go. And I'm like, I will never, I don't care what it is. I have never gone a full 24 hours without eating, and I never will. I am not going to miss a meal, missed on my sleep. Those are the two things that I prioritize more than anything, is my rest and me being fed. I am not going to starve myself, and I'm not going to make myself tired for anything. And because I feel like college students do this a lot, where they will sacrifice rest and they'll sacrifice eating because they're trying to get an assignment in on time, or they're trying to make a meeting. Listen here, I'm not doing that, and I'm perfectly fine. I got my degree. I did my little extracurriculars. I'm cool. Like if it comes down to eating and getting to a meeting late versus not eating and getting to a meeting on time, I'm gonna be late to the meeting. I'm sorry. Like to me, there's just taking care of yourself should be the number one priority over everything. I don't care what anybody says. That comes to school, work, literally anything. Like you have to take care of you and your body first, in my opinion. And so that's why, like, it doesn't really, like, it doesn't make me feel bad. Like, I will continue to take my naps. I will continue to make sure that I eat throughout the day. But I think it's just, again, it's ridiculous how much that's projected onto some of the older generations. And I just hope that they start to see that it's okay to slow down and to rest and to take naps. Taking naps doesn't mean that you're lazy. I think that's the other misconception, because again, Gen Z gets called lazy a lot just because we refuse to be overworked, and we refuse to allow certain situations to affect our physical and mental health. Like we know when to leave a job. We know when to miss an event or miss whatever. Like we know, not everyone, obviously this doesn't apply to everyone on both sides. But I'm just saying, like, we recognize the importance of rest. And I feel like because our parents and people within that age range, they don't really understand what it means to rest. It's like they see that, and instead of them saying, "Huh, you know what? They do have a lot going on. Let me let them rest." They instead get angry and upset and triggered, and they feel the need to like make us get up and be productive. But it's like there's nothing wrong with wanting to rest, especially if it's the weekend. That's the one part I could never get over, is that even when I tried to rest on the weekends, it was a problem. It was, "Oh, why are you sleeping in?" Because it's Saturday. I don't have anything to do. I don't have homework. I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like what? Like, And it's just, and I always say too, it's like, I'm not going to start doing that now just to make you feel better. I'm not about to sit up here and fight sleep and be exhausted all day just to make you feel better. You need to get over it, because I'm a rest. I'm gonna take my time and I'm a rest. And listen, I understand like there are a subset of kids that maybe are lazy, right? But typically when you're being lazy and you're like avoiding responsibilities and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're usually doing something else. You're usually watching TV, playing the game, talking on the phone and texting. Usually if you're asleep, it's because you're tired. Like, to me, it's just 1 + 1 = 2 here. Like, I really, I want to encourage, you know, more black parents out there to just let your kids rest. We get tired too. Kids get tired too. It's no different than when you have like a toddler that gets sleepy. You're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, what has this toddler done all day to get tired? It's a natural thing for your body to get tired. Sometimes it doesn't even take much for your body to get tired. It's just maybe you've been awake for a certain amount of hours or whatever the case may be, but at some point your body gets tired. And sometimes it's not always at night. There are times where you get tired throughout the day. And if you have the time, if you have the luxury to take, a nap, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, let them do that. It's not gonna hurt anything. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say on this topic. I didn't want to make the video too long, but I did want to talk about this because, yeah, like it's this weird thing that I'm seeing where it's like people just they just don't know how to not be in survival mode and to just pause and just kind of just be. Some people, they thrive in being in chaos and always have something going on and having 50,000 jobs at one time. But I really want to encourage everybody out there to really put yourself first and prioritize rest. Resting is a part of self-care, and self-care is very important. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, and also see if anyone else has had this issue where their parents don't let them rest. So please let me know in the comments down below if you guys have experienced this yourselves, where literally like you have like 50 million things going on, and that's the other thing too. Again, it's like it's one thing if you're not taking care of your responsibilities, but like again, if you're a kid and like your homework is done, like everything is done, you don't have anything to do. That's the key. Is you don't have anything to do. Homework is done, chores are done. There aren't any lingering tasks that you need to accomplish. To me, I don't see I don't see what the big deal is in taking a nap and resting. But again, leave down in the comments down below if you guys have had this issue with your parents where you try to take a nap, you try to sleep in, and they were just irate about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know your stories as well in the comments down below when you guys have experienced this. And also let me know your overall opinions on the topic as well, if you agree, disagree with anything that I said. Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We're on the road to 2K, and I would love to hit that sooner rather than later, especially because I'm coming up on 4 years on YouTube. And so that would be a huge accomplishment for me if I could hit 2,000 subscribers before I reach my 4-year milestone here on YouTube. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.